Harry Potter and a Deathly Hallows Part 1, my nerdy Blu-ray rewatch. That is what I'll be getting into today. What's going on, everybody? BK here, back with another episode here on Crewboy Productions with the Silly, Nerdy, and Wordy podcast. And this is going to be Episode 104, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 1, my nerdy review Blu-ray rewatch series continues. What's going on, everybody? VK here back, and let's get into it. As we are getting to the end of this Harry Potter rewatch, movie number 7, Deathly Hallows Part 1, and overall, I did like this movie. The only down thing I would say is the pacing and the rhythm of the movie at different points of it, particularly in the second act, due to Harry and Hermione and Ron, and then at certain points, Harry and Hermione traveling by foot as they go across the country to find out how to destroy the Horcrux. But I think just getting into this right away, the way that was structured in terms of the pacing and the rhythm and how it slowed down during that second act of the film, I think it was very necessary to do that, to have the rhythm do that, because that's how the story was able to progress. For me personally, I always like the rhythm and pacing of a movie over a show to kind of keep it moving, go at a good steady pace, not so much slow parts. But sometimes, and in this instance, it is very necessary to do that. And so I agree with the decisions of the director and the studio and how it went for the purpose to move the story forward. So that is probably one of my only nitpicks about how this movie was. But I liked it overall. And also starting off and how it started right away, it puts you in the tone and show how much more darker the tone is going to be and serious. Now, movie number 6 was in a dark tone as well, but this amplified and increased the tone, the darker tone right away as well, with the sound effects as you're getting into the Warner Brothers logo and title card, with the voiceover going right into the actor's eyes at the ministry. So love how they just put you in this right away. So great job by the director, David Yates, and everyone involved in that decision. So that's how it gets started. And then also, I really like what they did with in terms of the story. You don't really need to spend time at the school. They were there a little bit. And also with the rest of the kids, they didn't have much work to do because they were only on screen in one frame on the train going back to Hogwarts, and that was it. That's all they needed. And I agree with that. I agree with that because this is movie 7. And at this point in the story, in these movies, and also in the books, which I have not read, but they are going into young adults, they're teenagers, and they have pretty much learned all they need to learn almost. And so focusing the story on the 3 main protagonists with Harry and Hermione and Ron as they are going on this journey once they get separated after the wedding is interrupted. It focuses on them and their journey to go about destroying the Horcrux and ultimately moving towards a confrontation with Voldemort in movie number 8. But the fact that they didn't need to spend more time at Hogwarts, and then not spending much time at home as Harry's family is leaving the house and everything, and Hermione is leaving her home and wiping the memory of her parents. As painful as that as she's doing it to protect her family. And so interesting and good choices there, painful but needed to do that. And then I think there may be a few technical things, but one thing I really enjoyed in my rewatch here is the sequence in the woods at the beginning of the sequence where Harry and Hermione and Ron, they are running away from the Snatchers. And they're running, the wand battle is happening. But what I like is the decision by the director and the editor, the sound, whoever else is involved in this decision. When the beginning of this sequence is happening, when they're running away and the wands battle is happening as they're running, what they do is they take the sound of the music out. And so the you only hear the actors running, you hear them grunting, you hear the battles of the explosions of the wands hitting the trees and the dirt. So that's all you hear. Just that running. You get those wide shots. So I love what they did with that as that sequence was starting. And then a little bit further as time progresses within that particular sequence, then they bring the score and the music back in towards the end of that sequence. But I just love that in that particular moment, what they did there, the decision to have the sound, the score of the music or any type of sound effects besides the wand battle. Great job there. I love what they did and how that just made the film more better there. The other thing, I'm going to jump ahead to some parallels I want to make. Just some certain things, some similarities, I would say. For one, overall, this movie, Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 1, to a certain extent, to me, in my personal opinion, it's almost similar to Marvel's Infinity War with Thanos and the Avengers. In this case, you have Harry, Hermione, and Ron, as well as the whole wizarding community, and then Voldemort and his minions, his soldiers. I compare it to this because they lost two characters in this Harry Potter movie, Hedwig the bird and Dobby. But also in the final frame of this movie of Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 1, Voldemort got the wand at the end, getting it from Dumbledore's grave. He gets the wand. So kind of sort of he wins in the end, so to speak. And he uses the wand and the shot goes up into the sky. You see the magic coming out of the wand. And that is the final frame that we see in this movie. So in a certain perspective, perhaps he wins in this movie, but that's the final frame we see. Of course, in Infinity War, that was Thanos' movie, and he won in that movie, wiping out half of the existence and whatnot, and the Avengers lost, right? So that's the parallel I make in terms of that. And then another parallel I want to make is to Lord of the Rings, which I am doing a rewatch with that. I already have Fellowship of the Ring out. I'll get back to the next two Lord of the Rings movies, but I make the comparison with the Lord of the Rings is because when they are wearing the Horcrux, specifically Ron, as in Lord of the Rings, when you have the ring on, or you have put the ring on your finger, the ring makes you feel and do something, or the ring gets around people, it makes you not be yourself. And that's what happened to Ron in this Deathly Hallows Part 1, to the point where he eventually left Hermione and Harry for a period of time because he had the Horcrux on. And it kind of did something to Harry as well. And so that's my comparison to Lord of the Rings, because having the Horcrux on, it makes you not be yourself, just like the ring in Lord of the Rings not makes you be yourself. When it gets around certain people, it kind of takes over their mind. And so that is where my comparison to Lord of the Rings and this Harry Potter film, particularly this movie number 7. So I just was thinking about that as I was rewatching it and going over some notes for this. But I really, for the most part, I enjoy the movie. I enjoy the darkness and the dark tone of it all. And then also the great shots as Hermione and Ron and Harry are traveling, and then it's just Hermione and Harry. They are going across the country. These big wide shots on the rocks and the beach and all of these things. So they spent a lot of time. Probably it was just a lot of time where it was just Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson on a lot of filming days, where it's just the two of them in terms of the actors on screen, because a portion of the film is just the two of them because Ron left for a period of time until he eventually came back. But I like what they did there. So great shots of that. And it's just setting up to get to movie number 8 of Deathly Hallows Part 2 and this confrontation. Of course, I love what happened early on in terms of the wedding and all the things that were going on there. But this story is focusing on getting to this confrontation. So I think that's I think that's all I have to say about this film. I enjoyed it. It was a slow rhythm, slow pace, but I think it was necessary for it to do that in that part of the film as they're traveling across the country. So now we get to Deathly Hallows Part 2. That is going to be the next and final Harry Potter movie in this Blu-ray rewatch, and I'm looking forward to rewatching that. So can't wait to get into that and see how this ends through the lens I'm watching movies now. So if you like those type of breakdowns, subscribe to the channel here on Crewboy Productions and Crewboy Productions Presents Nerdy Notes. You can follow me on and listen to this podcast on all the different podcast feeds. Search for the Silly, Nerdy, and Wordy podcast and hit the follow button, as well as on TikTok at Nerdy Podcaster 124. You can follow me there, as well as Crewboy Productions on Instagram. You can follow me there as I put the shorts and reels there, as well as sometimes shorter episodes go on there. Hope you have good vibes for the rest of your day. And until next time, we will talk soon.